Hello and welcome to this My Theme Shop video tutorial. Over the next couple of minutes I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know about how to set up MagXP from My Theme Shop so that it's completely set up on your site. There's going to be a lot of information, so feel free to pause or rewind any bits of the video and we'll get straight away stuck in. So first you want to head to the members area at mythemeshop.com/go/member, and it's there you'll find all of your active themes, plugins, and you can do things like change your newsletter subscription. As we're installing MagXP though, we're interested in downloading that theme. So I'm on the member dashboard, I'm just going to expand where it says MagXP and then click download theme files there. That's going to download a zip file of everything WordPress needs to install the theme. So with that done, I want to head to my WordPress dashboard and then I want to upload and activate the theme. So I want to head to Appearance and then click Themes and then Add New and then Upload. And now I'm going to upload the zip file I've just downloaded. So I just need to click Choose File. And now I want to navigate to where I've downloaded that from. Select that, click Open, and then Install Now. And WordPress is now going to upload, install, and extract all of those theme files. Once that's completed, you just need to hit Activate, and WordPress will now activate that theme on your front end, and your site will now be running MagXP. There's a little bit more work to do though to get the theme fully set up, and I'm going to run you through all of that now. If you'd like to have your theme set up with the content you'll see in the demos, then you can go back to the members area and check out a video we've got about how to set up the dummy content there. We're going to skip over that now and get straight into installing the plugins that you need with your theme. So you'll see that WordPress tells you that MagXP recommends WP Review, WP Shortcode and WP Tab Widget, and you'll want to install those plugins. And to install them, it's a very simple process. You just need to click Begin Installing Plugins. This will take you to a bulk uploader, and you just need to tick that top box and then go to Bulk Actions, and you can install all of those plugins at once. And you can see WordPress will do that for you, and once that's completed, you just need to click Return to Required Plugins Installer, and then tick that same box again to go to Bulk Actions and then Activate, Apply, and WordPress is going to bulk activate all of those recommended plugins. If you want to use a shop with your theme, then you'll also want to install WooCommerce. I'm going to do that now quickly. Go to Plugins, Add New, and then do a search for WooCommerce. And now we can download and click Install on that first result. Download and install WooCommerce, the first option there, straight from the WordPress plugins directory. And once that's completed, just hit Activate Plugin. And this will take us back to the plugin page, and I can see I now have all 4 of those recommended plugins activated. So we're now going to import the default data for the MagXP theme options. And to do that, we need to go back to the members area. And we see I've still got MagXP open here, and I want to download the demo data by clicking Demo Data. You'll want to navigate to that file and unzip it as I've done here, and you'll see in that file you have these 9 different layouts here, these 9 different text files, and these all have, you'll see they say default, entertainment, health, etc. And if you go to the MagXP demo on mythemeshop.com, you'll see these are all the different layouts that MagXP has bundled with it. And so to install the default theme options for any one of these layouts, you just want to choose the relevant text file. I'm going to keep with the default one though, and you just want to open that up in your favorite text editor. So I'm just going to open this with Notepad and then copy all of that. If you're using a different layout, then you just need to select that different file and then go back to your WordPress dashboard and go to Appearance, Theme Options, and then scroll down to Import Export. And then you want to import code, and then just paste in that code you've just copied. Hit Import, and that's going to import all of the settings. As I said, if you're using a different layout, it's the same, just open the different text file for that layout. And that's now all completed, and I'm going to walk you through the rest of the theme options panel now. So the first 2 options you'll come to are your logo and your favicon, and you can use the media uploader in order to upload the icon and logo you want to display there. It's pretty self-explanatory, and as you can see, by default I've got the MagXP logo and favicon there. Below is the option to set your Twitter username, and you can just enter your name there. And if you're using the RSS service FeedBurner, then you can enter your FeedBurner URL here, and then that will redirect your RSS feed to your FeedBurner URL. Just make sure you got that all set up properly before you start using it. For the header and footer code areas, then this is just if you want to add any analytics code, Google Webmaster Tools verification, that kind of thing, in the header or the footer. And there's just two boxes there. You can just paste in any code you want to display in those two boxes, hit save, and that will show up. And below that we have the copyright text. This is where you can control what is displayed in your footer, and you can remove this text, change it, or do whatever you like with it. There's no limitation to what you can do here. Below that we've got AJAX Quick Search, and having this on, what this does is makes your search results appear immediately below your search form. So if I just go over to my live site and say search for wine, then all my posts about wine will display directly below the search box with a preview of their images there. This may conflict with any other plugins you've got running, so just be careful about that one though. Prefetching, what this does is makes the next inner page load much faster in Google Chrome. And this is a really nice way of improving the user experience. Only works in Google Chrome at the moment, but Chrome holds nearly 50% of worldwide browser usage. So it's well worth having that one enabled. And having theme update notification on lets you know when updates are available for your theme, and we highly recommend that you keep this on at all times. So those are your general settings. Remember to hit save at the bottom of the page once you're finished with them. And now we're going to move on to looking at styling options, which is the next tab down, so just click on that to load your styling options. First you'll come to is the color scheme, and you can use this color wheel in order to select a color which the theme will base your color scheme off. So say I wanted to go from blue to red, then I'd click that, hit save. And now when I refresh my site, you'll see it goes from this blue to this nice red. And you can of course have any color you like there to match your site's branding. The layout style below that will let you choose whether you have the sidebar on the right or the left. So currently I have it on the right. If I have it on the left, then I just click left and then save those changes. Go back to my site, hit refresh, and I'll see I now have the sidebar on the left hand side. The next option down, the homepage layout style, I can choose whether I have a grid style layout or the traditional blog style. And choosing them, you just need to click between those two. With the header background color, I can use this color picker again to select a background color to go in the header. And the same goes with the pattern chooser. You can choose between these 63 different background patterns to have. And your final header background option is you can upload an image to display behind that header there. Now you've got similar options for your site background. So again, you can select a color using the color wheel there, or select a pattern by clicking on any one of those. You can also, as with the header, choose an image to display there. Now we come to the footer, and I can choose whether to have the first footer widget area on or off. So I'm going to turn that off now, hit save, and go to my site, and you can see at the moment I have right at the bottom this first footer area. If I now refresh my site, then I'm going to find that this footer area has been turned off, and I've only got the one footer area there now. The same goes for the second footer area. You can choose whether to have that on or off. So if I turn that off as well, hit save there, and refresh my site again, then we'll see I've only got the copyright line at the bottom of the page, and I have no footer widget areas. And you can just turn those on and off just by clicking those two buttons. The sidebar title background color chooser lets you, again, use the color wheel there in order to pick a color. This time it's for the sidebar title background. And you can also choose the background color for the copyright area. Finally, you've got some options to add your own custom CSS, and adding it here instead of in your style CSS will avoid the loss of any changes when you update your theme. And your final two options here are turning on responsiveness, so whether your theme adapts for tablet and mobile devices, you can turn that on or off. And finally, you can turn lightboxes on, which are stylized pop-ups that will zoom in on your images when users click on them. So once you're done making your changes there, hit save again, and we're now going to move on to the header section. Now there are just a couple of options here. First, the floating navigation menu. Having this on is a great way of improving your user experience. So make sure that the navigation menu scrolls down as users scroll down on the page. You can see I've got this on at the moment, and if I scroll down on my site, then you'll see that this navigation scrolls with the page, and having that off will just make sure that the navigation stays at the top of the page. It's a nice tweak though, and improves your user experience nicely. You can next choose whether to have the header logo on or off, and a search bar in the header on or off. So again, once you're finished with those options, then save, and move on to the home page now, which is the next tab down. The first option you'll come to is having the homepage slider on or off. So I have this on at the moment. If I turn it off and hit save, then going back to my site, and if I now refresh this whole slider area is going to disappear. And you can see the slider area is gone. So that's what turning that on and off does. In order to make sure your images fit on the slider, you want to make sure they're at least 1000 pixels wide so they look good. If you turn the slider on again, then you can choose the categories that display, and you can use the shift key to select multiple categories like that, or the control key to select individual categories that aren't consecutive on your site. And that just controls which categories are displayed on your slider's content. Next you have the homepage gallery, and having this disabled or enabled controls whether the homepage gallery is on or off on your website's homepage. So if I turn that off now and hit save, and go back to my live site, then this is the homepage gallery area here. If I now hit refresh with the updated settings, you'll see that area is now gone. So you can just turn that on and off. And you can also choose the position on the page at the top, at the bottom, and again you can choose the content it's grabbing there from which categories. So use control select like that, or shift to select like that. With this featured categories section, you can choose which categories are displaying on your homepage. So if I want to add a section here, I can add a category. So we'll go for the awesome category and have 3 posts there. And you can also drag and drop to control what order those posts are displayed in. So if I now change that order like that, hit save, go back to my live site, and then refresh it, then I will find I now have the awesome category first, and then the latest from these next categories is going all the way down the page. And I can choose the category colors that will be used instead of the color scheme color there. Just click on any one of those to drop it down, and then use the color picker there in order to change that color. Hit OK, save your change, and if I refresh my site, then I'll now find that that bottom section is in blue there for articles. And that's just how it works, just with the color picker as you'd expect. You can turn on or off meta description information on the homepage. So this is your author name, your date, etc. So that's on at the moment. Although if I just turn it on again, you can choose whether to have author name or date on, or both. I'm going to turn that off now though. If I hit save on that and then refresh, then you're going to see all those dates there disappear, and you see I have no meta description information there. You can have that how you like though, on with the author name, or on with just the author date. And then finally, for your homepage, you have the pagination options. This controls your pagination, is how visitors can get to the next page to view more posts. Currently it's on numbered. If I change it to default and hit save, then so we'll see at the moment it's on this numbered like this. On default it will show this older posts and then newer posts once you're on an older post page. Alternatively, you can have it with an AJAX infinite scroll, but with a load more button, and you just click the load more button to load more posts while staying on the same page. So we'll see now that just shows up, and clicking that loads more posts like that. Or your final option is to have also infinite scroll, and this will load more posts as you scroll down the page. So if I now refresh that homepage for one last time, as I scroll down, you'll see I'm having more posts loading all the time. That's what's called an infinite scroll, because the idea is that posts scroll infinitely. So you can just choose between those 4 options, and once you're done with those, hit save. Moving on to single posts, which is the next section down. The first option you'll come to here is your single post carousel. You can enable or disable this, and what this is the area that shows above posts on a single post page, and that will just show some additional posts there in a carousel format. You can have that on or off, and as with the homepage, you can choose which carousel categories are displaying there, and you can also use Shift or Control in order to select the categories there. Next is the next or previous post links, and turning those on or off will enable or disable the links after a post. So if I just turn those off and then hit save, so it's these links here, which will go to the next or previous post you've written. So if I just refresh that, then you'll see those have disappeared with that option. Next we have breadcrumbs. These are a great way of making your site more user-friendly, and they're also great for your site and search engine results as well. They'll display what's known as a breadcrumb trail of the article name, and then backing up to the category that the article belongs to, and then any subcategories and the homepage. So I'm going to turn those off, hit save, and you can see I have these breadcrumbs here showing the category and then backing up to the homepage. If I had any subcategories there, they would display as well. And refreshing the page shows that those have been turned off as I've just set in the theme options. Next you have your meta description information that was very similar to what we have on the homepage, but you have a couple of extra options here. So you have the author name, date, category, and the number of comments, and you can turn those all off or use these checkboxes to check individual ones on or off. This option lets you highlight comments from the post's author in your post comments, which is a great way of making your original content stand out. You can choose whether to have your tags displayed below your post content and just turn that on or off. You can have an author box showing the author's description and information which they set in their profile below your posts. And you can also choose whether to have related posts on or off with thumbnails to display below the content area of your post. You can also choose whether those related posts are powered by tags or categories, how many related posts you display, and whether to show the date for comments. Again, hit save when you're finished with those, and now we're going to move on to social buttons, which is the next section down. So at the top here you can choose whether to have your social media buttons on or off. You can also choose whether to have your social media buttons above the content, below the content, or floating. Currently I have them floating. If I just change that to below content, hit save. So floating means that when I scroll up and down, those buttons stay in a fixed position. But if I hit refresh to update those options as I'd opted for them, then you'll see I have those buttons displaying at the bottom of the post. And you can choose which social media services you want to use. So there's Twitter, Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn, StumbleUpon, and Pinterest are your options there. Next we move on to ad management, and this section is fairly self-explanatory. You can paste in your code here for below post titles, below post content, and both of those options you can choose whether to have the code show up only after a certain number of days. So if you wanted to wait a week before showing up with your ad content, then you put 7 in there in order to not show ads perhaps to your regular visitors. That setting is pretty self-explanatory though. So now we're going to move on to sidebars, which is the next option down. So using this page you have full control over your sidebars, and you can create extra sidebars, having one for each section of your site, or perhaps a custom sidebar on a per post basis via the post editor. Having unique sidebars might increase the chances of users staying longer on your site, and having separate sidebar content for different articles is perhaps a way of having relevant content for that article, or relevant articles that users might want to visit next, displaying next to that post. So here you just need to add a sidebar here, give it a name and so on, and then add widgets in the widget area under appearance and widgets, and then you can apply your extra sidebars once you've created them using these options here. We're going to leave that now for the moment though, and move on to navigation. We already have a video tutorial on how to set your navigation on mythemeshop.com, so you should definitely check that out. I'm just going to quickly show you, clicking through to the WordPress menu editor, how to choose a different color for your menu items. So if I'd like the homepage to be a different color, from the color scheme, I just drop that down and use this color picker here to select a color. So if I'd like that to be a yellow, then I could click that there, hit save, and if I head over to my site now, then you see the color for the homepage on the accent there is now a nice yellow. And you can set those for all your different menu items there, and it just gives your site that extra level of customizability. Moving on now, we're going to look at the WooCommerce options here, which is the next option down. And here you can control the settings for your WooCommerce shop. You can control how many products you're displaying, whether you have the slider enabled or disabled, and then what you're displaying on your slider. You can also enable or disable shop features and show what features you're displaying there. Those are fairly straightforward options, and remember, you need to have the WooCommerce plugin installed in order to be able to use the WooCommerce functions there. Moving on then, we're going to have a look at typography, which is the next option down. And from here you can control the fonts used on your site. So here you can choose from 17 standard font sets, and as well as the Google Fonts library, which contains over 600 fonts, which are free to use and embed on your site. So just as an example here, the logo font, for example, you can choose from all of these fonts available from Google Fonts library, as well as the standard fonts. And you may want to use the link up here to visit Google Fonts library to play around with the fonts there. But say I want to use, let's see, Droid Sans for my logo. You can see that refreshes with the font there, and I can choose the weight of the font. So I'm just going to keep that normal, and then also the font size and a color. Now it's really important you choose a backup font from which are standard system fonts, because when you're embedding a Google Font library font and Google Font library is down, or perhaps the device doesn't support it, then the browser will attempt to use a backup font. And so you'll want to have one of these selected as your backup font, so that your typography still displays nicely if Google Fonts is unavailable or not supported. So here I'll just go for Helvetica, Arial, and then a sans serif if none of those are available. And you have all of those options for all of those different sections of your site. Next, moving on to translation. Now this section of the theme options allows you to set up your translation so that you have a fully translated site without editing .po or .mo files. So if you want to enable translation, just tick that box, and you'll see you have all of the instances where the theme is using text in one language, and you can type it in a different language. And you can just go through these and replace the English with whatever language you want to translate to. So for example, if I was translating the 404 error not found message into Spanish, then I would enter the Spanish text, press save on those, and if I now go to a page on my website that doesn't exist, you'll see that headline error 404 not found is now displaying in Spanish. And translating your theme isn't a case of editing any complicated files. You just need to go through all of these text options here and translate the text on the theme options panel. Finally, then we're going to move on to widgets, which is the last thing we're going to look at in this video. So you just need to go to appearance and then click on widget. I've already configured my widgets here. And there's an additional video available for you on mythemeshop.com, which will take you through how to set up your widgets in detail. It's just worth noting that the widgets aren't imported with dummy content. Sadly, that's a limitation with WordPress at the moment. You'll need to configure your widgets by yourself. As you saw earlier, we disabled the footer widget areas, but if I had them enabled, then they would also show here. And I'll just quickly take you through what I've got set up with my sidebar. So if we go over to my site, then you'll see I have a search bar at the top, a popular and recent tab section, featured posts scroller there, and then some additional featured posts listed, trending posts, which are displaying the comment count there, and also a calendar at the bottom displaying my posting schedule. So at the top we just have the search, and that's left without a title, so it's only the search box that shows. Next we have the WT tab widget, which is using the plugin we installed earlier, and you can see I have the popular tab and recent tab enabled. I could also have comments and tags there, and I could also reorder those by changing those numbers. And there are some additional options there, such as how many posts you want to display, allowing pagination and thumbnails, and so on. Next we have the My Theme Shop post slider, which is some featured posts from my articles, showing 3 posts, and there's a limit on the length of the title there, just so that doesn't overflow and take up too much space on the slider. After that, I've just got a category post, which I'm using to display some featured posts. And you can see these are from the category featured, and I've got some thumbnails set up. And then next we have the trending posts, which are showing 5 posts from the last 30 days, and then they're ordering them by comments so that visitors can see what's popular from the last month. And then finally, we just got the calendar, which is again left blank. You don't have to put a title into any of your widgets. And that's just a quick tour of those widgets. I would recommend you watch the video on mythemeshop.com showing you how to properly set up your widgets. And that concludes our setup of MagXP. If you have any questions, then head over to mythemeshop.com and head to the support forum, and one of our support team will be more than happy to help you. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and best of luck with your site.